I have been wanting to do a Game of Thrones edition of the podcast for a really, really long time. And I couldn't think of a better topic than winter is coming, especially as winter is approaching in 2025 to come on and talk about this because I think in 2026, when we look at the landscape that's ahead, it really is like season 4 or 5, maybe even 6 in Game of Thrones, where winter is coming and it's going to be a long winter for a lot of folks. And I'm going to tell you why. And then I'm going to give you some ways to avoid the winter and actually thrive in 2026 because we can't have issues without opportunity. I see a massive amount of opportunity. And so I'm going to walk you through a handful of things that I think are coming like a freight train that have the potential to wipe out a lot of companies. And I don't just mean the companies that are selling to the government. I mean the businesses that sell to government contractors, whether they are coaches, consultants, training services, proposal writing services. If your company is under $1 million or right around or under $1 million, and you've been hovering around that space for a while, I think you're in jeopardy of these 5 or 6 things that I'm going to talk about. At least 1 or 2 of them, right? You're in jeopardy of some of these things, and your opportunity to pivot is now. You have an opportunity now. And I can't stress that enough. So let's get into it and let's talk about some of the things that are coming. So these are the harsh predictions for government contractors in 2026. And they also apply to a lot of the service providers that government contractors use. So think bid matching tools, again, proposal writing, coaches, consultants, all that kind of stuff. So if you are not using AI in 2026, you are likely going to lose to people who are. That's just the harsh truth. You're likely going to lose to people who are, because there are a lot of companies that are refusing to use AI. And they're refusing because they're scared of AI. They're worried about their staff. They're worried about all these different issues that are somewhat valid concerns. The problem is AI is not going away. It's like the telephone. It's like the first car. It's like the first iPhone, right? Like they're not going away. You just have to learn how to work with them. Even the first computer, like a lot of people said, hey, I'm not going to use that. Those things are not going to last. Now we carry them around in our pocket. Some of us carry 2 or 3 of them around at any given time. So you've got to understand AI is not going anywhere because you are going to lose. The speed that AI delivers to a team is the game changer. It's speed. It's all about speed, which pivots into my second point is capture cycles are going to shrink and the slow contractors are going to be locked out. Opportunities are going to be influenced earlier and faster, and they're going to leave the lagging firms behind. And so there's going to be a lot more happening before RFPs drop, but the speed at which capture happens has got to change for your firm. Now, the bid happy firms, those are going to hit some catastrophic win rates, or should I say loss rates, because there's too many people that are bid happy that in the past had really just focused on, hey, everybody's putting together a mediocre proposal. We're going to focus mainly on price. And we're going to win this. Random bidding is not going to deliver the results that it used to. This is one of the pillars I've always talked about, but I guarantee you it's going to cause a lot of problems for people that love the strategy of brute force, happy bidding. It's not going to work. Another one is that past performance will stop protecting mediocre delivery. So if you were delivering your products or services in a mediocre way, agencies are not going to put up with that anymore. They're just not. They're not going to say, okay, well, the standard in contracting or construction is to take 2 or 3 days to get a call back. The standard is that it doesn't include shipping, or the standard is whatever the thing is, right? They're not going to say that's okay anymore because other companies are going to use innovation to beat those things because now speed is on their side. Another one is that subcontractors without metrics and maturity will be cut out from teaming. It's just going to happen. Primes are only going to keep subs that are compliant. They have an automated infrastructure. They have proven performance, and they have the speed to deliver. If you are not that subcontractor, you're not going to stick around. And then one of the final ones here that I'm going to talk about, there's two, but one of the final ones is CMMC. The cyber security requirements are going to start coming from all different angles. And if you are not looking into this and understanding how to play the rules and understanding what to do with cybersecurity, you're going to be toast. You're absolutely going to be toast. And I would say the last one that I want to include here is if you are not looking at your strategy for the market, if you're not looking at your strategy and have a well thought out strategy, you're going to die. You're going to die in this market. Too many companies are focused on tactics and not strategy. Tactics are great. And tactics will help keep the doors open most of the time. But when you're using tactics that don't align with your strategy, that's when you're going to get beat. And so you're going to have to shift your strategy in 2026 in order to be faster, in order to use AI, in order to level up, in order to innovate how you deliver. Because over the next 12 to 24 months, companies are going to learn to run circles around average companies. The winners will. They're going to learn that. And they're going to be using AI. They're going to be using automation. They're going to be using smarter employees. They're going to be training their employees how to use these tools. And overall, they're going to be shifting from a me first strategy to a customer first strategy. That is one of the things that people don't understand about the AI revolution that's going on right now is it's creating a more customer centric solution, which is where we should have been anyway, but it's focusing on how do we deliver better, smarter, faster, cheaper. Because in the past, we could only choose one or two of those options. You could either choose better, but it wasn't going to be faster, or better, but it wasn't going to be cheaper, or whatever it was. And now with the tools that are in the market, with the evolution of how we even look at how we do business, you have an opportunity to deliver all of those things. Smarter, faster, cheaper, better. You can do it all. It just takes amount of effort to actually get to that. So let's talk about some ways to avoid getting crushed in 2026. So the first one, which should be really, really obvious, is you should implement AI in your capture and proposal workflow. You should really implement it in everywhere. We're going to talk about a few of those, but one of the first ones is your capture and proposal workflow. I guarantee you a lot of you are wasting a lot of time because you feel an old school loyalty to how we used to do it. And I would make this argument for you here. And the argument is let AI do the grunt work while you focus on your strategy, while you focus on the tactics that you need to be employing in this new generation. Focus on that with your people and let AI do the grunt work. AI can do so much grunt work in research, in going and diving inside of SAM and USA spending, which I'm going to make a prediction here that I actually wasn't going to do on this. I bet over the next 2 years, a lot of the bid matching softwares go away because people are going to start implementing their own AI agents within their firm with customized solutions for searching SAM, searching USA spending, searching any of the other data tools that are out there. They're going to create automated solutions that do this, and they're going to get rid of bid matching tools. Those are all just going to go away because yes, they are going to evolve, but there's still going to be an 80% solution to the majority of the market. And the market's going to say, hey, we can get a customized solution that does exactly what we want. It's better, it's faster, it's cheaper, and it performs exactly like we want. We have control of it to pivot anytime we want, and we're not under somebody's subscription plan. It's coming. It is coming. People are going to be able to do this because people without coding skills are going to be running AI agents on the back end in the next 12 to 24 months, if not sooner. So the other thing that you need to do, or things that you need to do, is you need to take a look at all of your internal timelines and shrink them. Regardless of what you're doing, you need to be taking tasks that take days or weeks and reducing them to hours or days. You need to be looking for that all throughout your business. Where are you doing things that take way too much time and shorten those internal timelines? But again, AI automation process, that's going to be a big thing too, because a lot of people have what we consider ghost processes, which they're in their head. They're actually not in a system. They're actually not doing anything. So you actually need real systems in order to make this work. The next thing that I highly recommend, and this is just a business fundamental, is you need to adopt a very strict bid, no bid strategy. And you need to create your own P-win system based on that bid, no bid strategy, because bidding less, but bidding smarter is going to improve your win rate. That's where you're going to wind up wanting to spend the time, is in the right bids, not just in any bid that comes across your plate. So you're going to want to adopt that. Now's the time. And by the way, I think most of you over the next 12 to 24 months will have AI doing that for you. It will not only find the opportunity, it will pre-qualify the opportunity. It will deliver you into your CRM exactly what those opportunities are, with a 70 plus or percentage higher P-win. Then it'll even start the RFP response, RFI, source, whatever it is. It will start those responses for you with the click of a button. That is coming in the next 12 to 24 months. Some people are already doing some things like that. I actually created an AI agent a while back. This is just a month or two ago, that did the front end of all that, everything but the RFP piece. And so it's available. And I did it in 2 hours. So I know people can do it. So the next thing that people are going to have to get really, really sharp on is you're going to have to update your value story. We have this process called value mapping, where you work on who you are, the value you provide, and you put metrics to all of that stuff. You're going to have to get sharp on this, because contracting officers, your decision makers, your influencers, your teaming partners, they're no longer going to sit and review capability statements that start with, I'm an 8A SDVOSB, blah, 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 blah. They're already not doing it very well, but they're going to start looking for people that stand out. And if your story doesn't stand out, you are going to get crushed. You need to make your story stand out. If you have trouble with that, we can help you with that. It's one of the many things we do. The next thing is you've got to become a high return on investment teaming partner. You've got to show your primes that you are not only organized with what you're doing, you have a repeatable process where you can deliver the same results over and over and over again. You're building relationships with agencies. You're building relationships with other teaming partners. You're bringing strong metrics and proposal assets and relationships and all these things to your teaming partner to make them more valuable. And you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to become a high demand teaming partner. Now, I've talked about CMMC. That's one of the things where if it's not on your roadmap, I get it. We've been playing this game of, hey, let's kick the can down the road for 5, 6, I don't know how many years now, but we're there. We're at a point now where you've got to get serious about CMMC, even if you don't do business with the DoD, because it is rolling out DoD wide. But guess what's next? The rest of the government's next. And it's no longer going to be a thing where they're going to take your word for it. They're going to come inspect you, and they're going to make sure you can actually do the things and you have the things in place, the controls that you say you do. Finally, when it comes to your strategy, I say you take a look at your strategy from a big picture perspective and say, how do we become more customer centric? How do we slay all of the golden calves in our business and focus on the customer? We've got to look at the customer and say, how do we serve them better? And if that means shifting parts of your team to other tasks, it means shifting your team. If it means changing the rules within your organization of what you do for clients and what you don't do for clients, it means changing the rules. Whatever it takes to increase the speed, efficiency, and accuracy of the delivery for your customer is where your strategy needs to be focused. Now, that may mean you kill off an entire product or service line of your business in order to go a different route, because you're like, hey, we had this one product or service line. It was doing well for years, but it's no longer serving our customers, or I see it sunsetting over the next 3 to 5 years. So we're going to kind of interrupt that by shifting customers to a new product or service, or rolling that old product or service under the umbrella of something else that you have. The bottom line is your business can't be focused about you anymore. It can't. But we've evolved as a world basically, under, again, AI, automation, and business intelligence. People are just smarter, and it's coming to the surface more because of AI and some of the systems that we see. This is your canary in the coal mine moment. Winter is coming. You have to make some big changes. And if you're still operating like it's 1999, you got a month or so left to party, maybe two. And then the party's over. Winter is coming. And when it comes, it's going to stick around a long time for the companies that are unwilling to change. Now, on the flip side, if you're willing to change, there's so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity right at your fingertips because there are so many companies unwilling to change. You can be a company that stands out from the rest of the crowd just by being willing to change. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones. And by the way, I think I'm in my 5th or 6th round through the series, and I pick up something new every time. But as I was watching, I was like, wow, this sure feels like the time we're living in right now in government contracting, that winter is coming. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time.